Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Woman, have you no idea what men notice about you? You might think it's the dress, the heels, the lipstick, or maybe the way your jeans fit. But let me tell you something. Men, real men, we see so much more than that. Let me tell you something that a lot of women don't realize. Men, real men. We ain't just walking around looking for the biggest hips or the prettiest face. That's a surface level man. That's a boy. A real man, he's tuned into something deeper. He's watching something that goes way beyond the curves, the makeup, the high heels. What we notice first and what we remember long after is confidence. Now, I'm not talking about arrogance, not that loud fake it till you make it kind of attitude. I'm talking about real, genuine, unshakable confidence, the kind of confidence that doesn't need validation from anyone, the kind that doesn't need to be posted on Instagram to be real, the kind that walks into a room like, yeah, I belong here. I know who I am. I don't need you to like me. I already like me. That's what turns heads. Let me paint this picture. Two women walk into the same room. One is dressed to the nines, tight dress, heels high enough to touch heaven, makeup done to perfection. The other, she's a little more low-key, simple outfit, minimal makeup, but she's walking like she owns the place. Head high, eyes forward, posture straight. Now, you'd think most men are going to look at the one dressed up like a model, right? But what's crazy is our eyes might glance, but our attention stays where the confidence is. That quiet, commanding energy, that's magnetic. That pulls us in. That makes us say, who is she? Confidence tells us you know your worth. It says you're not begging for attention. You attract it naturally. You don't need to chase love because you are love. And we can feel that energy. It's not even something you can fake because it's in how you move, how you talk, how you laugh without apologizing for being loud, or how you sit in silence without needing to fill the space. That self-assurance is sexy. See, a woman who's confident doesn't have to try to be someone else. She's not out here performing. She's not afraid to be goofy, not afraid to speak up, not afraid to sit alone at the table. She's got this calm about her. Like even if everything goes wrong, she's still good. That energy, that's what we notice. A lot of women out here are chasing beauty standards that keep changing every 5 minutes. But you don't need to look like the latest trend. You need to walk like you know you already enough. You need to stand like you've got nothing to prove, because the truth is curves might turn heads, but confidence makes a man stop in his tracks. It makes him listen. It makes him think, this woman knows who she is. I better come correct. Men are not just watching what you wear, they're watching how you wear it. You could be wearing a hoodie and sneakers, but if you walk with purpose and look people in the eye, we notice that aura you carry. That's what separates you from the rest. Because beauty fades, bodies change, styles shift. But confidence, that stays, that evolves, that deepens with time. And that's what a real man wants to grow with. You ever seen a woman who just glows without trying? That's confidence. She knows what she brings to the table, and she ain't afraid to eat alone. She don't beg, she don't chase, she don't shrink herself to make anyone comfortable. She shows up fully, unapologetically, and gracefully. And that makes a man respect her before he even knows her name. So when you're getting ready in the morning, when you're stepping out into the world, don't just check your mirror for your outfit. Check your spirit. Check how you're walking into that room. Because while some people are busy chasing attention, the woman who walks in with quiet confidence, she's the one who stays on a man's mind. Let me break something down that too many women miss in the chase for love, attention, and admiration. Y'all been taught to chase perfection. Be the perfect woman. Hair laid, nails flawless, skin glowing, waist snatched, personality always sweet, always put together, always polite. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. Men don't want perfect. That ain't what makes us stop, stare, and stay. What pulls a real man in is authenticity, realness, raw, unfiltered, this is me energy. That's what gets our attention, and more importantly, that's what keeps it. See, perfection is exhausting. It's not real. It's not sustainable. It's like trying to live in a photo shoot every single day, posing, filtering, performing, and it gets old. A woman who's always trying to be on all the time, trying to live up to some impossible standard, eventually starts losing parts of herself in the process. She's chasing this idea of what she thinks men want instead of showing up as who she truly is. And here's the twist. Men see it, maybe not right away, but we feel the difference. A woman who's authentic, now that's rare. She walks in her truth. She's not perfect and she's not trying to be. She's got flaws. She owns them. She's had bad days, maybe even some bad years, and she's not afraid to talk about it. She's not hiding her past. She's grown from it. She doesn't try to fit into a box just to be accepted. She builds her own lane and invites you to meet her there. That type of woman, whew, that's unforgettable. There's something so refreshing about a woman who's just real. You can sit with her and feel like you're home. You can talk to her without feeling judged. She doesn't need to be the loudest in the room to be noticed, and she doesn't need the whole world to clap for her to know she's valuable. She ain't chasing approval, she's living her truth. And men notice that. Not the fake ones, not the shallow ones, but the ones who are actually ready to build something real. You know what's crazy? A lot of men are tired of fake, tired of conversations that don't go deeper than the weather and what's trending, tired of women who wear masks so heavy they forget what their own face looks like. And yet when a woman comes along and says, look, this is me, I'm not perfect, but I'm proud of who I've become, that hits different. That kind of woman makes a man want to lean in, listen more, learn more, be better, because she's not performing, she's connecting. And let's be real, you can always tell when someone's faking it. You can feel when someone is forcing the laugh, forcing the smile, saying what they think you want to hear instead of what's really on their heart. But that one who tells you the truth even when it's uncomfortable, the one who shows you her bare face and her bare soul, that's a woman who's rooted. That's a woman who's powerful in a way you can't even explain. See, the world is full of filters, edits, and highlight reels. Everybody trying to one-up each other with the perfect life. But real cuts through all that. Real is the woman who shares her struggles and still stands tall. Real is the one who says, yeah, I've been through some mess, but I came out stronger. Real is the one who isn't afraid to cry, to laugh out loud, to be silly, to be serious, to just be. And men, we don't forgive that woman. We respect her, we admire her, we tell our boys about her, because she gave us something we don't see every day, truth. She gave us a glimpse of what it looks like when a woman stands in her power and doesn't water herself down for nobody. And that right there is magnetic. It's not about how perfect you look, how smooth you talk, or how flawless your life appears. It's about whether or not you're real, whether you've got the courage to show up as you, messy, beautiful, growing, healing, and human. Because in the end, real always wins over perfect, every time. Let me tell you something that gets overlooked way too often. A woman can spend hours putting on makeup, choosing the right dress, stepping into them heels, spraying the best perfume, and baby, that's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to look your best, but here's the truth that most women don't realize. It ain't what you wear that makes people stop and pay attention. It's how you wear it. It's how you walk into the room. It's how you carry yourself. Because that alone, that's louder than any designer label. That speaks before your mouth even opens. A lot of women think men are only looking at the physical. They think it's the tight dress or the way your body is shaped, but we ain't just looking, we're feeling energy. We're watching your posture, your presence, the way you move like you belong. Because there's something about a woman who knows who she is and carries herself with that quiet, strong grace that says, I'm here, I matter, and I don't need to prove it. That kind of energy don't come from your closet. It comes from your spirit. It's in the way you hold your head up, the way you walk without rushing, the way you make eye contact without flinching. You ain't shrinking yourself. You're not begging to be seen. You're not hiding either. You're just there fully like you know your worth, whether anyone claps for you or not. That's powerful. You ever seen somebody walk into a room and they even said a word yet, but somehow all the attention shifts to them? That's not about what they're wearing. That's presence. That's what carrying yourself with purpose looks like. A woman can be dressed in the most expensive thing in the room, but if she don't carry it with confidence, if she don't walk like she knows she belongs, then it don't hit the same. On the flip side, a woman could walk in wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but if she got that I know who I am energy, oh, you better believe people are turning their heads. It's not even just about confidence. It's about dignity. It's about self-respect. It's about knowing what you bring to the table and refusing to settle for less. Not because you said it, because you show it. You walk like you won't be disrespected. You stand like you've been through some storms and came out stronger. You sit like a queen, calm, poised, and control. That don't come from what's on your body. That comes from what's in your soul. Men notice that, trust me. We see it, we respect it because it's rare. And let me tell you, it's not about being the loudest, the sexiest, or the most done up in the room. It's about being rooted. It's about carrying yourself like you know what you won't tolerate. Like you don't need to scream to be heard. Like you're not chasing attention, you are the attention. When a woman moves like that, when she walks like she knows she's enough, there's not a man in that room who doesn't take notice. You can buy clothes, you can get your hair and nails done, you can dress up, look good, and all of that's fine. But real presence, the kind that makes a lasting impression, that ain't for sale. That's something you develop. That's something you grow into when you've learned to love yourself and respect yourself on a deep level. When you've been through the fire and came out with your head still high. When you've made peace with your past and stopped letting it define your worth. And listen, carrying yourself with grace don't mean being quiet. It don't mean dimming your light or being small. It means knowing when to speak, when to walk away, when to stand your ground, and when to let things roll off your back. It means you don't let your emotions run wild all over the place because you're grounded in who you are. It's that calm strength, that powerful softness, that balance that says, I'm good with me. So before you think you need a new wardrobe or a new hairstyle to be noticed, check how you're carrying yourself. Because how you move, how you present, how you walk in your truth, that's the outfit that truly never goes out of style. Let me tell you something that might sound crazy at first, but it's the absolute truth. Men, especially real grown men, were drawn to a woman's energy way more than just her looks. Now, don't get me wrong, looks might catch the eye. Yeah, a pretty smile, a fine shape, a beautiful face. That'll get a man to notice. But what keeps him there? What makes him stay? What makes him want to know you, need to be around you, choose you every time? It's your energy. That energy you carry, it says everything before you even speak. It's in your vibe, the way you make people feel when they're around you. Are you peaceful? Are you warm? Are you playful, passionate, strong, nurturing, or all of the above? Because that's what we feel. That's what we remember. That's what hits deeper than anything physical ever could. You ever see a woman walk in the room and she ain't the loudest? She ain't even trying to be seen, but somehow everybody notices her? That's energy. She ain't doing too much, but her presence is felt. Men pick up on that. A woman who walks in and brings peace with her, that's rare. A woman whose energy says, I'm comfortable in my skin and I don't need anyone to complete me, that's gold. Because the truth is, beauty is everywhere these days. We're surrounded by it. But genuine high vibe energy, that's the real flex. That's what we remember when the room clears out. A lot of women out here trying so hard to look the part. And again, there's nothing wrong with looking good, handle your business. But Don't let your focus be so much on the outside that you forget what you're giving off from the inside, because if your spirit is anxious, bitter, cold, fake, or heavy, that's what people feel. That's what we feel. And no amount of pretty can hide that. Now, when a woman's energy is grounded, when she's positive, secure, knows how to laugh, knows how to listen, knows how to bring peace and protect her own joy, there's magnetic. You want to be around that. You start looking for ways to protect that. You start feeling like you need to match that. See, men are not just looking for eye candy. We're looking for soul food. We want to feel something real. We want to be around someone who recharges us, not drains us. A woman with the right energy can change a man's whole day with just her presence. And that's something you can't fake. You either have it or you build it from within. So remember, it's not always about how you look. It's about how you make people feel. And when a man finds a woman whose energy feels like home, that's when the game changes. Because beauty may attract us, but energy, that's what keeps us coming back. Let's go ahead and tell the truth, ladies. You can be drop dead gorgeous, the kind of beautiful that turns heads everywhere you go. But if you don't carry yourself with respect, that beauty loses its shine real quick. I ain't saying looks don't matter, they do. But let me be clear, respect, that hits different. Respect is what makes a man stop and think, hold on, she ain't just fine, she's solid. That's the kind of woman that leaves a lasting impression. You see, beauty might get you in the door, but respect is what gets you invited to stay. It's easy to attract attention with your looks, especially in today's world. Everybody's got filters, contour, angles, and highlight reels, but that don't mean they carry themselves like a woman who demands respect. A man will notice a beautiful woman, no doubt, but the way a woman respects herself, that changes how he approaches her. That changes how he talks to her. That changes whether he comes to play or comes to build. A woman who respects herself sets a standard without having to say a word. She walks in the room and you already know there are certain things you just can't do, certain lines you can't cross. And not because she's aggressive or loud, but because her energy says, I'm not desperate for attention. I'm not going to settle for less. I know who I am and I know what I deserve. That's the kind of woman who can sit in silence and still be the most powerful one in the room. Men respect women who respect themselves, period. That's the kind of woman who makes a man want to rise up, not because she forces him to, but because her presence requires it. She ain't begging for love. She's not showing off for likes. She's not out here putting herself on sale just to be chosen. She knows her value, and if you can't see it, she'll keep it moving without a fuss. I've seen it too many times. A woman with outer beauty but no boundaries, she'll attract the wrong kind of men every time. And then she wonders why she keeps getting played. But the truth is, if you don't respect yourself, you give people permission not to respect you either. A woman who commands respect, she's not afraid to say no. She's not afraid to walk away. She's not afraid to stand on her standards, even if it means standing alone for a while. That strength, that's more attractive than any dress, any hairstyle, or any pair of heels. Men notice how you carry yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you let others treat you. That's what tells us what lane to be in with you. If you're constantly lowering your standards just to keep someone, that's not strength. That's fear. But when a woman moves from a place of self-respect, she becomes unforgettable. She becomes the kind of woman that doesn't just get looked at, she gets considered. And don't think for 1 second that self-respect makes you less approachable. It makes you more valuable. There's a big difference between being intimidating and being undeniable. A woman who respects herself doesn't scare me in a way. She weeds out the ones who were never meant to step to her in the first place. And trust me, a real man doesn't want a woman who's easy to get. He wants a woman who makes him earn her time, her trust, her love, because he knows it means something. Beauty will always be admired, but respect builds legacy. It builds families. It builds partnerships. It builds relationships that actually last. When you respect yourself, you teach the world how to treat you. And the men who are worth your time will always rise to that level. Because in the end, beauty might catch the eye, but respect, that catches the soul. Let me tell you something a lot of women don't realize, but every man picks up on your standards, what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you expect. That's the blueprint. That's the playbook you hand us on how to treat you. You don't have to say much. You don't have to yell or plead or constantly correct us. We're watching. We're listening. And based on how you carry yourself, we learn real quick exactly how to show up or how much we can get away with. See, love ain't just about how you feel. It's about how you operate. It's about what you say yes to and what you're willing to walk away from. Every woman has standards, but not every woman sticks to them. And the difference between the ones who get respected and the ones who get played is the ones who know what they want and don't make exceptions just because they're afraid to be alone. Now, don't confuse standards with being picky or difficult. Nah, standards are about knowing your worth. They're about saying, I love myself too much to accept less than what I know I deserve. That's powerful. That's attractive. That tells a man, you can't just show up with charm and game. You got to bring character, consistency, and effort too. A man will always test the line,